Welcome to First Sun News. This is Argo Mitro. When Turkey started speaking against India, when platforms were being prepared against India in collaboration with Pakistan, perhaps Turkey thought that India would only issue statements and not take any action. But now the situation has changed. For the first time, India has entered Turkey's backyard and started force projection, and this one step has disturbed Turkey's sleep. Yes, India has sent its warships to the coast of Cyprus, and this move is so significant that even NATO member Turkey had to step back. Turkey believed that India only focuses on Asia. Turkey also thought that India has a history of not interfering in other regions, so there's no need to fear. But this was Turkey's biggest mistake. India has changed. Now India not only protects its borders, but also marks its presence from the Indian Ocean to the Mediterranean Sea. Now let's talk about the incident that shook Turkey. Turkey recently deployed more than 100,000 troops in northern Cyprus. The question arose, why did Turkey need to send troops in such a hurry? The biggest reason for this is India's move. When India sent its warships to Cyprus and conducted passing exercises with the Cypriot Navy, the message was clear. India will not hesitate to show its military strength between Europe and the Middle East. This is the same area that Turkey occupied in 1974. Half of Cyprus is still under Turkish control, and Europe has done little about it. But India's move has completely changed the game. When PM Modi visited Cyprus, he announced a comprehensive partnership, including defense cooperation, maritime security, and arms supply. This is what hurt Turkey the most. India not only supported Cyprus diplomatically, but also sent warships to send a clear message. If you support Pakistan, we will show our presence in your region too. When Turkey saw that the Indian Navy had reached the shores of Cyprus, it panicked and sent 100,000 troops to northern Cyprus. This is the same Turkey that calls itself a strong NATO member, but India's move proved that being a NATO member is no longer a guarantee of security. Turkey feared that India might start supplying military technology and weapons to Cyprus, and this fear wasn't baseless because India has rapidly advanced in defense exports. In recent years, India has started sending weapons to Africa, Southeast Asia, and Europe. Now let's talk about why Cyprus is important for India. Cyprus is a member of the European Union, but in defense matters, it was almost isolated. The US and European countries kept issuing statements, but no one took concrete action against Turkey's occupation. Now India has filled that void. India has shown Cyprus that even if the world is silent, we stand with you. This is the same confidence India showed with Armenia, where it supplied weapons to help Armenia against Azerbaijan. Now the same strategy is being applied to Cyprus. Turkey has long openly supported Pakistan. On the Kashmir issue, Turkey made statements against India. Even at the UN, Erdogan raised his voice against India. India responded silently, through diplomacy, strategy, and now force projection. India has now told Turkey, we don't provoke anyone, but if someone provokes us, we won't spare them. Now finally, let me tell you what force projection means. It means demonstrating military power far from one's own borders. Now India is not limited to the Indian Ocean. It is showing naval presence from West Asia to Africa and Europe. Indian warships now regularly go on missions to the Red Sea, Suez Canal, and the Mediterranean Sea. This not only shows India's naval power, but also proves that India has become a global player. For Cyprus, India is becoming a reliable partner. Where Europe refused to supply weapons, India is now preparing to provide drones, radar systems, and missile guidance technology to Cyprus. This will enhance Cyprus's defense capability and put pressure on Turkey. On the other hand, India will gain a defense entry point into the European market, meaning India's weapons can now be sold in Europe. Well, this is the new India. This is the same India that wants peace, but can show power when needed. Turkey thought it was safe because it was far away, because it was in NATO. But India has shown and told the world that distance doesn't matter when it comes to India's security and honor. Now the world knows India's force projection is not just an exercise, it's a global message. And that message is called New India, from borders to blue waters.